I just really appreciated looking at some of the other school districts' information too, for those that are nervous or fearful or worried or whatever, to look at Virginia Beach, which is larger than us, to look at Spotsy, which is just slightly smaller than us, but nearby neighbor, and see that their data doesn't look much different than ours right now. We're masked, they're not. That to me, if I was a worried person, that would help me. That would help me. I'm not a big, all the different data things. I just am a little more about trends. But I know this isn't practicable to keep going. We've heard it over and over again. Our 504 and our IEP kids, this isn't going to work. Our language learners. My son was a first grade teacher last year. That's really hard. It was a really hard struggle for him. Special needs. Our middle school and high school, the engagement piece. I have a high schooler, and he's masked up. And it's very, very hard for him to, even as a senior, be interested, a lot of his friends, to be interested in even going on to college. Because his sister is in college, masked up, and she's like, I hate it. I'm out of here early, Mom. And so I get it. I get all of those practical things. I know it as a mom. I hear it as as citizens.
I know everybody's impatient. I know this has been a really rough 2 years. Believe it or not, we're as tired of the masks as you are. We're as tired of trying to juggle the mitigation strategies in COVID-19 as parents are. But unfortunately, it's a reality that we're stuck in. I ask you to be a little patient a little bit longer. It's important that we work with our schools and our administrators and our teachers and make sure everybody is on board and comfortable with this move forward. And we make sure that we have the correct masks in place for those people who choose to wear them, because there is a difference between the masks. Each school is a community, and so we have to respect the fact that there are different people with different needs within those communities. And that's why we just ask to be respectful, because you don't know what burden other people may carry or why they may choose to wear a mask or why they may need to wear a mask. And it's just important to respect that as well.
I feel that I have gotten a lot of information, a lot of facts, real facts, that in my opinion shows that this is not practicable for our community. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to recommend masking, because we will continue to recommend it, but we will not require it. I want to make sure, because we've gotten a lot of correspondence from staff, that staff says, please, if you're not going to require the students, let me off the hook. Let me get rid of it. And that was in this motion, is that this decision applies to staff, but please be aware that there is what is it, the Virginia Department of what?
It's actually Virginia Occupational Safety and Health.
Okay.
So they actually have a state requirement, but actually right now, under Executive Order 6, the governor has actually asked that those regulations be reviewed, and gave VOSH 30 days to do that. So that clock is ticking.
Next week.
So should that change, according to your motion that's on the table right now, staff would be included in the relinquishment.
So this board is doing what is in our discretion to release the staff, but this is outside of us. But at such time as that order changes, then Dr. Taylor will immediately let everyone know. And please, I think it was significant, the bus drivers that came up. It's not their fault. This is the federal government. This is in CDC. These are not guidelines. This is a CDC order. This is why we have to wear them at the airports. This is why we have to wear them on any public transportation. And they have determined and identified school buses as public transportation.
Do we have to wait until the 22nd? In addition to that, I also want to make sure that if we do get...
Excuse me, Remember, this is a board discussion.
I want to make sure that if we get a change from Richmond in advance of the 22nd, do we automatically have to follow that? Is that part of the, I know there were all different laws at the bottom that you said we would change on behalf of, but if the General Assembly and the governor make this available before the 22nd, do we still go to the 22nd? Do we, I don't, like, legally speaking, where do we stand there? In any case, for as many children as are struggling, I think, you know, a week is better than 3 months, but I think a day is too long. And if we can do anything to get as many children comfortably back in school learning, I think that is our ultimate goal. Safely, as safely as possible, of course, but you know, we have the flexibility to do it now. We are within our legal right to do it now. We are, you know, like, I hesitate to wait a moment longer. You know, you talk about instructional hours and how few we have already, and that's a whole lot of instructional hours that we could possibly have the option to give, and I just feel like we should discuss whether or not that's at all feasible, practicable, possible.
It is an advantage for us to have a little bit of lead time in any type of change management to make sure that we can do this seamlessly and that we actually do it the right way. We're definitely ready in terms of our sentiment and are able to move at the board's will, but there are advantages to making sure that we can do things the right way, and that's part of what we want to do to make sure that the classroom experience is a positive one for all kids. And it is going to take effort, to Dr. Chase's point, and it is going to take effort, to your point, to make sure that our signage reflects what the board's intent is.
The point is, you don't know every person in my district, neither do I. I only know the people who walk up to me or who email me or who call me. That's all I know, or people on Facebook Messenger or whatever. That's what I know. And I'm telling you, I have heard more from people telling me not to change my vote than I have from people telling me to. That's it. Now, maybe your friend circle is completely different, or your neighbors are completely different. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just telling you what I've heard. I also believe that our districts are different, and you can't say the same thing that I'm saying and be truthful, but I can. So I'm torn. That's where I'm at.